welcome to a wonderful live safari. Isn't this so exciting? Now, my name is Tayla, and on camera with me this morning we've got Wium, because it is morning, very early here in South Africa, and we're sitting at a beautiful dam. Now, I've got a couple of birds to show you, and the first one that I'd love to show you is a beautiful one, very common, but beautiful nonetheless, and it is called a white-faced whistling duck. There the two of them are. It's a pair of them, preening their feathers in the early morning sun, and I'm sure they've been for a little swim, a little dip already. And it's very important, especially when you're a water bird, to preen your feathers, to coat them with a little oily substance that helps sort of keep them waterproof. And well, when you're a bird that lives in the water most of the time, you need feathers that are waterproof, otherwise you'll probably sink. Now, we don't want that. Now, like I said, they're very common. In the species, they have about a couple of million all over Africa, but they're very common around East Africa, and especially where we are in Southern Africa. Now, if you'd like to have a chat to me, or if you've got any questions for me on this wonderful summer's day, you're welcome to comment on the little comment section below, and then, well, I'll try and answer them to the best of my ability. Now, this waterhole is very productive. It's quite beautiful. Like we saw those beautiful whistling ducks. There's a pair of Egyptian geese also lurking around somewhere, and I think we may see a territorial dispute between the two. And, well, we've got a couple of other little things sitting up in this beautiful big nest. Now, we've just got a silhouette of that lovely tree at the moment, which is quite beautiful. Now, you can see the big sort of bunched up sticks. That is the nest of the buffalo weaver, which is the bird that you can see fluttering around on the top left-hand side of your screen, and inside it goes. And I was saying earlier, you probably wouldn't want to stick your hand inside that nest. Well, because there are lots and lots of thorns in there. They use the very, very thorny sticks to make their nests, and that helps aid in protection. It will probably try and keep some snakes out and any unwanted raptors that might go in to try and steal the chicks or the eggs. And, well, they're very clever. They've got their entrances and they know how to avoid being pricked. Now, hello, Solomon. You're wondering where in Africa are we? We're currently sitting on Arathusa Private Game Reserve, which is in the Sabi Sand of the Greater Kruger National Park, which is quite wonderful. So we're out here experiencing the most amazing day, and, well, we drive around and we don't know what we're going to see, but at the moment we're looking at a couple of birds. Now, there was some other nests that I'm sure you noticed coming off of that buffalo weaver's nest. Don't you think they look strange? There's nothing in them right now. Now, those are nests by the weaver birds, and you can see why they're called weaving birds, because they take bits of grass and anything that they can find that's pliable and twist it around and weave it through each other to make these beautiful, well, they look like Christmas decorations. Hello, Melinda. Melinda, you're wondering what is inside those nests. These smaller ones that have been woven, unfortunately, not much at the moment. I haven't really seen too much activity just yet. So perhaps they've been abandoned. Maybe the chicks have hatched already. But there's definitely a lot of activity in that buffalo weaver's nest. And they'll keep reusing this nest year after year. It'll get bigger and bigger. And they are constantly working on it. They are the hardest working birds. There's like two of them flying back into the nest that I think we get out here. Isn't this absolutely incredible? And we've had so much rain, which is really good. Really, really good, of course, for us here, because we have had one of the worst droughts that have ever been experienced. Oh, I'm just going to turn around again. Oh, well, there was a raptor I wanted to show you, but it has flown away now. Have a look up top there. Let's see what's up top there. Oh, that's an interesting bird. Can you see it right up top? I just want to have a little look. And as I say that, it flies away. But it was one, and the reason why I say it was a special one, it looked like it was one of the little indigo birds. Now, the indigo birds are funny little creatures, and the birds that we don't see very often. I think let's carry on. Let's see what else we've got, because there's not too much happening at this dam. I was hoping we were going to find a leopard or something drinking. Now, Belinda, you were wondering if there are any birds and any snakes that will take anything out of those nests, and yes, they do. Hang on, Wium, I found the raptor I was looking at. I'm going to show you now, sitting on the dead tree in the far distance. is a Wahlberg's eagle, which is an eagle that comes around and breeds in our summer months. Ah, there we go. Look how it took off. Off it goes into the distance. Now, that kind of bird, they're known, they'll eat all sorts of little things, but if there's definitely an opportunity to eat some chicks, they will do so. And of course, there are lots of snakes around here, different types that are very good at climbing trees, and that's what they often feed on in the summer months, even the little chicks or the eggs of the birds. Hello, Catherine. Catherine, you're wondering if there's any crocodiles. Occasionally we do, but unfortunately we don't really have big river systems in the area that we're in at the moment. So we're not seeing too many. And hopefully after a bit more rain, once the river systems that have dried out actually do fill up, then maybe we'll get a few crocodiles coming down and sort of opening up the area there of movement. At the moment, the pools of water are quite small. You saw right there, one we were looking at, not quite as full as what it should be when we do have a proper amount of rain. So maybe in a couple of months' time. This is our rainy season all the way through to about February. So hopefully we'll get a little bit more. Ah, who have we got sitting up on the top of that tree? As I say that, off it goes. Sorry, Wium, but you can see it flying away, and it landed. It's amazing, these birds, and this is how you know it's a live safari, and I must apologize, is that the birds see, oh, we've been spotted, and then they absolutely fly away. But it looked like it was a Jacobin cuckoo, which very briefly showed itself. Whee, down we go. Now, as we're driving through here, waiting to see what else we're going to see. Kat, you were wondering how much rain we've had. It's been sort of intermittent over the last couple of weeks, actually. And I reckon in the last 2 weeks or so, we've probably had maybe, so I've been on holiday, so I'm guessing here, but maybe somewhere between 30 and 40 mils of rain, possibly even more. I think maybe a bit more, because it's quite green and lush. All the rain we can get. We had one of the worst droughts that we've had in the 100 years. So it was we were quite happy, and of course, welcoming to any rain. Right, let's see what else we can find. It's been a little bit quiet because of all the rain. Everything is dispersed because there's lots of greenery popping up all over this greater Kruger area, which is 8.5 million acres of pristine wilderness. So you can imagine it makes it quite difficult when you're trying to look for something when out here, especially now that the bush has got so thick as well. In winter, it's very open. You can almost see for miles. It makes game viewing quite easy. Hello, Savita. Savita, as we're going back to those nests, you were wondering if I knew if I could tell the difference between which nest belonged to which bird. Yes, quite easily. Very typical of those buffalo weavers to make the big, very messy nests with lots of branches and thorns and all sorts of things poking in them. And then, of course, the weavers, they made those tight woven balls, which is quite unique to the weaver birds. There's a couple of others that make similar nests, but there's probably about at least 5 or 6 different weaver species that we just see in this area, and they all make different types of nests. They make ones that are round, they make ones that are round with the tunnel entrances. So depending on the subspecies of whichever bird it may be, they've got different nests. But you get cup nests, little small ones. You get birds that make their nests in the side of a bank of a mud bank, for instance, like maybe a kingfisher or a bee-eater, something along those lines. There are so many different kinds. And of course the big eagles and things, they make big platform nests. Or sometimes they just make a nest on the edge of the side of a cliff, or well, wherever anything is. Let's see what we've got around over here. Sometimes you just actually have to stop and look around you to see what else is. Oh, I've just had a little bird whisper into my ear. Fortunately, we don't have too much time. We've got Brent out driving around. He's gone his way to Cheetah Plains to go and look for a leopard. Steph is walking on foot. Can you imagine that, walking with all these wild animals? And hopefully he's going to find some interesting smaller things. So if you want to go and have a look, head to WildSafariLive.com. And then, well, we're going to continue the show. We're going to actually go and look for some lions that have been spotted on the southernmost boundary. So if you want to come and jump in, WildSafariLive.com. But from myself and Wium, I hope you enjoyed a little bit of a birding morning, and we'll catch you soon.